Fatherfuckers, what's up? First fantasy football weekly review of the 2014 season. I thought I would never get here. Fucking January went by. I had my shitty birthday in the winter, and then Valentine's Day in February, and March Madness, then April showers, bringing May flowers, and June, I don't know what the fuck happens in June. Then July, we had the World Cup, and then August, soccer season started, and now we're back. September, fantasy football. The reason why we all wake up every day of our lives is to do shit like this. So you can listen to me talk forever and ever. It's so good. I love it. But I'm a little remiss in my duties. We have week one in the books, and I didn't even talk about the end of the 2013 season. So a little brief recap. Tom, I don't know if you guys knew this, because he never talks about it. He's super humble. I don't think he likes the attention, but he has won 2 straight championships, winning Big Dick Bowl 3 as an unprecedented 5 seed. Snuck into the playoffs, really had no business being there until he whined and complained and rigged it so that we got more spots. And then he went on to beat Chase, a rookie. You know, it was great. It was really great. We all were super pumped about it. And so, you know, at least credit where credit's due. Tom is a champion, again, just in case you hadn't heard. Sharp, he won the Pearl Street division in his rookie season with the Big Dick Bandits with an 8-5 record. Anthony, he won the Caroline Street division for the second consecutive season with a record of 9-4. He was then kicked out of the league by a majority vote of the rest of the owners for what I think Roger Goodell would call conduct detrimental to the league. So we'll leave it at that. Zach, he scored the most points over the course of the season with 1,721 total points, but he missed the playoffs because he had the most points against him with 1,625. So it was one of those seasons for Zach where he had great luck and bad luck, and it just kind of fucked him in the end. He was, however, the winner of the silver 55-inch trophy for his 98-point margin of victory over Sheckton in Week 5. Speaking of Sheckton, buddy, Redskins experiment did not work out for you, did it? You had the least amount of points scored in the 2013 season with 1171. That's 1,171 points. That performance earned you both the Stefan Medal of Shame for getting the league's worst record and the Bronze Rockazon for getting the league's most useless performance, the fewest points in a single game. You became the first team to ever win both of those accomplishments in the same season. And you also set all-time league records for the worst record in the regular season at 2-11 and the lowest points in a single game with 31. In PPR, 31. Think about that. Everyone else, well, we were mediocre as fuck. Like, we didn't really have anything notable to say about us. So, replacing Anthony this season, we have Christopher Lee Barron. He's a married man, master of quick thinking, incredible logic, deductive reasoning. He's the sharpest man I've ever met. Barronisms aside, I think he's a fucking genius. So hopefully he'll add to the league makeup this season. So welcome, Barron, you big motherfucker. Now, on to what you've actually been waiting for, because who gives a fuck about last year? It's all about this year. Now, first week of results. The best matchup of the week, best game by far, was Brad losing to Bird 117-118. Brad, your best performer was your tight end Julius Thomas, who scored 35 points, but your running backs, Doug Martin and Stephen Ridley, combined for a total of 5 points. So all the running backs on your lineup scored 5. That's less than most kickers this season so far, just so you know. Bird, you leaned heavily on a 33-point performance from your quarterback, Matthew Stafford, and a late reception by Larry Fitzgerald in the last quarter of the last game of the week sealed the win. Going into the fourth quarter, Bird was down by 2 points in this matchup. Anything less than a 20-yard reception by Larry Fitzgerald would have seen Chase lose the entire matchup. But Fitz got him a 22-yard reception, netting 3 points and the win at the end of the day. Can't write this shit, right? Now, After that, we had some more normal games. But let's talk about Jordan's 122 to 69 point thrashing of J-Ball. Jordan nearly doubled the score of your opponent. You got double digits out of all of your players except for your kicker and your defense. And the thing about Jordan's teams, there's no particular standouts. Both your tight end Vernon Davis and DeMarco Murray, the running back, led the team with 20 points. So I mean, nobody was particularly awesome, but you just had, solidness all across the board. J-Ball, newsflash, buddy. Ray Rice, he was suspended for 2 games, and now he's done forever. Just cut from the NFL because he beat the fuck out of his wife. So he's over with. You don't want to start him. You didn't want to start him last week. You didn't want to start him this week, and now you don't want to start him ever. Cut him, get somebody else. Or if Barron doesn't watch this video, you could probably trade him to Barron and he'll have no fucking clue. So try that. Maybe even worse than not knowing about that was starting Alex Henry as your kicker, who had no team. He was a free agent. That means he doesn't have a job. He was literally not even participating in the NFL, and you started him at kicker. So, and while the Saints D against Atlanta isn't a super great matchup choice, nobody could have predicted the -6 points that they scored, so I'll give you that one. But still, between those 3 positions, your flex, your defense, and your kicker, you netted -6 points. Maybe you're playing by golf scores this season. I don't know, buddy. After that, Tom, of course, beat Sharp 125 to 117. Again, don't know if you knew this. Tom never talks about it, but he won again. Sharp, he had a decent day, but left some valuable points on the bench, making some pretty bad choices there, and it cost him the win. Starting old man Jason Witten at tight end, I didn't understand. Followed that ESPN ranking for some reason. That wasn't too bright. It was against a nasty San Francisco defense. He was never going to net you too much. And he scored you 3 points. While meanwhile, you had Martellus Bennett against the Bills, who also have a decent defense, but at least was, a younger player and possibly a better matchup. And Martellus Bennett scored 21 points. If you just swap those 2 players out, you win the fucking game. All right. Tom, he nabbed the Steelers running back Le'Veon Bell in the 2nd round. Is a great pickup. I was hoping he'd fall to me, but Tom grabbed him early, and it repaid him by 30 points. It was a 30-point running back play this week. He could be huge for Tom for the rest of the season if he stays healthy. He also got 21 points out of Jay Cutler, who threw 2 interceptions, so it could have been even worse. And 20 points out of Cordarrelle Patterson, the wide receiver out of the Vikings. But the real kind of disappointing part of this matchup was that he only got 6 points from your running back Jamaal Charles, who was his workhorse last season. So, gotta hope for more than that. I think once they get Dwayne Bowe back, it could be a different situation over there. So look out, Tom already won one, and he's looking pretty strong. Newsflash, right? All right. After that, I beat Sheckton 127 to 111. I had really disappointing days from my wide receiver, Victor Cruz, who only scored 4 points, and the Chiefs' defense against Tennessee, and they only got 2 points. But I got 35 points out of my 10th round pick, quarterback Matt Ryan. He killed it. Totally anchored my team and launched me on to victory. Fun fact for you guys, that was the last week 1 starting quarterback drafted this season. There were a couple quarterbacks drafted after, but out of all the starters from you motherfuckers, the last one, all right? And he was the highest scoring quarterback out of the ones that we started this week. So, fuck y'all, draft genius. Sheckton, it's good to have you back in fighting form, right? No more of this stupid fucking Redskins bullshit. But, yeah, fuck off. I still beat you. That said, yeah, that wasn't even that good for me. The only team you would have beaten this week was J-Ball, and we already talked about the fucked upness that happened there. So we got to figure out something. It was a pretty shitty performance. You got 22 points from wide receiver Antonio Brown, and you only got 7 from Vincent Jackson. He's going to be super feast or famine. I think he's going to have some massive games, and he's going to have some games where he disappears. So this was one where he disappeared. And it was against the Panthers defense, who granted have no secondary, but are fucking disgusting. So not your best choice. Got to do better next time. And finally, the last matchup of the week. our Captain Jack's weekly beer of the week, week 1, 2014, goes to none other than Zach Zabella for scoring 129 points against Christopher Lee Barron, who put up 124 points. It was the most points scored this week, so congratulations, Zach. You get the first beer of the week. Now, Zach. You had all but 2 players in double digits, and you saw 5 of your players score 14 points or more. It was a dominating week. You had 25 points from Marshawn Lynch, who was definitely the anchor of your team and the crown jewel of a very strong performance. And this is your 6th weekly beer of all time that you've won, so congratulations, buddy. Baron, your first trip down fantasy football lane, and you would have beaten everybody except for Zach, Tom, and myself. So it's kind of an unlucky matchup. You would have beaten basically anybody else in the league. So it's tough luck. Keep with it. But you got kind of lucky. Some of the guys that scored a fuck ton of points for you probably won't do that again. So keep an eye on that. You had 5 players score 6 points or less, and one of which was another free agent kicker in Jay Feely. So nice job. You went down J-Ball Road and started a player that literally is unemployed right now. I don't even know how you guys did that, but 2 in the same week is impressive. Well done. But you have probably the best combination of wide receivers in the whole league. You have Calvin Johnson and AJ Green, who combined for 60 points this week, and they're going to do that most weeks. The 2 of them will probably get you 50 points almost every week. So as long as you have them, I guess you're probably in it with a shout every week. Next week we have some decent matchups. So we have me against Tom. I'm favored by 7 points. Brad is favored over Zach by 7 points. And Sharp is favored over Bird by 6 points. So we have some really tight matchups coming up this week. But behind that, we have Jordan, who's favored over Barron by an absurd 46-point spread, and Sheck, who's favored over J-Ball by an even absurder 51-point spread. So make some adjustments, brothers. You got to hit that waiver wire hard this morning and fucking do something, because that's absurd. I don't know if you heard me, but I said it twice. It's absurd. 46 and 51 points. So, get your lineup sorted, you cunts. Steelers and Ravens play Thursday night. If you got any of them, gotta figure out if you want them on your starting lineup or not. Now, one last thing. Since the old championship trophy was named after none other than Mr. Detrimental to the league himself, Anthony Laterra, I have decided that we will hold the same competition as we did in our inaugural season. Whoever wins Big Dick Bowl 4 this season will have the exclusive opportunity to name our championship trophy whatever the fuck they want. So think about it, get hard, get a little turgidity in the pants, and think of something good. Because then for the rest of our lives, we have to call that trophy that. Alright? So piss off, cunts.